Hey everybody, and hope everybody's having a beautiful day. I know we are in the Okanagan here, and I'm here with Janice. Janice, do you want to show your hand? So this is Janice's hand. Now, if you take a look, we've been working on Janice's hand. You see how it's kind of, you see some of the green here? You see the green?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll see some black and you'll see some gray. Well, guess what? You would call that bruising. And for a lot of people in the health industry would say, oh my God, that's terrible. Who did that to her? Well, that would be me, okay? So the reality is this, you may not know this, but this dates back thousands of years. Do you ever notice now that all the therapy we do, out there, everybody else out there, all the therapy they do, they never do what? They never create any bruising or tenderness. So that means that all the people out there that have all this beef jerky inside of them, they're walking around so stiff. You know what that beef jerky turns into after a while? Turns into fibroids, turns into tumors, turns into adhesions, and that's what ages us. Now, you didn't see this before, but we're going to be releasing a video series. You see this little bump here? Tell them how much bigger that was.
Bigger than the one on this hand.
Here, you have to see the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's larger. It was
larger than this one, and take a look at this right here. Take a look how big that is. See that knuckle? Yeah, there's a beauty. Now you can see it. Look, right like that. Now, it was larger by about 40%, than this one. And take a look at it now. Okay, take a look at it now. So you people that you think that you have to live with crooked fingers, crooked toes, and a crooked spine. There was an old man who had a crooked spine, who lived in a crooked house, down a crooked trail. None of this is true. Just like what's going on out there, a lot of it's not true. A lot of it's made up. I hope you know. That's everybody's freaking out there. And you know what? It's making everybody sick. I hope you know that. People are going to end up getting diabetes over this whole coronavirus, heart disease, stroke, cancer, all of it, because it's all about here, okay? But here we go. So let me explain something. What I said today is that viruses, okay, become walled off by scar tissue. Whenever you get inflamed tissue, and remember something, wherever you feel pain in your body or swelling, that tissue's inflamed. That tissue will then be attacked by viruses, bad bacteria, worms. Did you get me? Now what happens is the body sends fibrin continually into that area to wall off that area so viruses can't attack it. So whether you're talking about a joint, you're talking about a muscle, you're talking about an organ, your body makes fibrin to wall it off so the inflammation doesn't spread and the microorganisms like viruses don't get in there to attack it. Now that's really cool, but like even after a surgery, your body makes all this scar tissue, no matter if you were sick with a disease, sports injury, car accident, or surgery, or it's just some form of inflammation, infection, your body always overcompensates scar tissue. Now, do you see how big the joint is on this hand? Well, remember, it was, oh, here, let me just do it like this way. Okay, you can see the joint, how big it is. Look at that, okay? That joint there, the other one on the other hand that I've worked on, okay, look at that. There's hardly anything left of it, okay? There it is. I mean, look at it. It looks normal like the rest. We worked on it for what? The first session was about, what, 17 minutes? The next one was, what, about 11 minutes? So we've done about 25 minutes, 30 minutes on your hand.
Yeah, not long.
And we used our energy medicine here, but we've reduced it by what, about 90%?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just a
90%. So the reality is don't you dare think that what goes on out there goes on in here. It never will, okay? Well, we'll give you a money back guarantee because that we can turn things around because your body's amazing at healing. But understand, you've got beef jerky in there. And understand this, scar tissue, what scar tissue does is it actually locks down the worst metals, acidity, chemicals, viruses, bacteria. That's what scar tissue is used for. So what we want to do is we don't want it to stay in there because remember, with every physical block you have, it's an energy block. With every physical block you have, it's a blood, it doesn't allow your blood to flow, doesn't allow your lymph to flow. I want to tell you something right now. when people come to us, the first thing they do when they come for a personal treatment and training, or they come for a whole week of treatments, first thing we do is go into the abdomen and get rid of the adhesions. Okay, now what adhesions? Well, let me put you this way. If you're not pooping right, you're not peeing right, and if you feel like you've got pain or swelling or in your abdomen, or you feel, especially with women, they'll have incontinence, you have a bladder infection, you have cysts on your ovaries, if you have prostatitis, if you've got scar tissue in your fallopian tubes, this is all scar tissue issues. Every one of these are scar tissue. You know, the only difference between somebody else at 64 and me is I have less scar tissue, which means I'm younger. Okay, so the more scar tissue you have, the older you feel. How old were you feeling with all this scar tissue in your hands?
I was feeling good till I looked at my hands.
So the reality is, but the stiffer you become, the older you're going to feel. So remember something, everything is a scar tissue issue in the body. And out there, I don't care whether it's physio, do they deal with scar tissue? No. They try to stretch your muscles, right? They try to stimulate them. But if you don't get rid of the beef jerky, it never returns. You know what people do? People will go and get therapy. What about chiropractors? Well, they will straighten the spine, which is really important. But guess what? In between every vertebrae, as you get older, your discs flatten and you get more scar tissue wrapped around the vertebrae. That scar tissue are little physical blocks all the way from your coccyx all the way up to your skull. Now, how many vertebrae are there? Well, when somebody comes to us, we get rid of all the adhesions in their abdomen. Now they can digest properly. Now they can eliminate properly. Now they don't have all that pain there. It makes a big difference. Then we go into every vertebrae of the spine and relieve the scar tissue. So now, with your spinal fluid having the most light and most information for your brain, how do you think it works for the average 40-year-old who has scar tissue all the way through? Or you say, oh, you know what, I'm getting shorter. Oh, you know what, I have a herniated disc. Oh, you know what, I have a slipped disc. There's no such thing as slipped disc. Where'd it go, down your pants? Okay, so the reality is your disc will become flatter and flatter, but all the tissue's still there. The problem is that they become thin like a wafer. But soon as we go in with Wolfe Non-Surgical and we open up each vertebrae, I don't care. We will give you back 1 inch to 2 inches of your height. Because when they say you're getting shorter, you think you're losing calcium. No. When you lose calcium, your bones get porous. But when you get shorter, it's your spine, because your discs are thinning out and becoming beef jerky. We can reverse all this. So what do you think about the two therapies and working with us so far?
Well, I'm impressed. I want to keep going.
Let them see you, and tell them about your little trip with us.
My little trip?
Well, what's been going on? How's your hands feeling? And
well, right now they're still healing.
Yeah.
So it's a little sore right here.
When did I do the last work on you?
Last Wednesday.
So it's almost been a week, and you see this? I wanted to say this earlier. You see the green? Guess what that is? You're going to go, well, that's bruising. Yes, it is, but guess what it is? It is called trapped emotions in her hand. And that, if it's green or it's yellow or it's brown, okay, that is old trapped emotions. And that means that this hand was actually, how can I say this? Disintegrating. This hand was disintegrating. Tell them how cold your fingers were.
Well, my grandchildren can tell you how cold the fingers were because they didn't want me touching them, but they were cold.
How are they now? Feel them.
They're warm.
They're warm now.
Yeah.
So understand that. You know what? When your hands and your feet are as cold as ice, and the problem is you're not getting circulation. You know what? When somebody's dead, we call them a stiff. And so understand something. The stiffer you get, the closer you get to being what? I think you get it. So it's all about circulation and bringing the circulation back. If I told you that the average person has 10 to 30 blocks in their body. So if somebody comes in here with a breast tumor, do we just look at the tumor? No. We look at the whole body and we get rid of the blocks. Where? I already told you. First in the abdomen, then in the pelvis, then in the spine. Okay, and once you've done that, you've turned on all the lights in the body. Wait till you see. Like we have another family here that's getting a PTT now. I just talked to the lady. She's really emotional right now. And she says, you know what? I just got all the work done on my head. They took my occiput apart and my TMJ. You know what she said? I have not felt this free mentally in 25 years. Now I hope you're getting this. And that was a 1-hour treatment. So understand something. The physical will stop the emotional, but the emotional caused the physical problems. So we work on everything here. So that's why if you're interested, go to Quick Start at docofdetox.com, get our self-loving steps. And tomorrow, I'm going to be interviewing Larry Langdon about the Element, which is a PEMF device that can knock out viruses, knock out bad bacteria, and it can do a blood sweep on you in just a few minutes. So we're going to be talking about energy and frequency and light and all of those things that really matter. So we actually have done about an hour and a half different videos on Janice that we're going to be releasing to show you the progress. And then you're coming back in when? I think she's coming in sometime this week, and we're going to work on her hand again. And you're going to see that I've only spent 25 minutes on the worst looking knuckle you've ever seen. And when I worked on just here, on this knuckle here in this area of the thumb, guess what? It affected the whole hand and the arm, didn't it?
Yeah, it's gone red down here now.
Yeah, it goes red right to the elbow. But guess what? Every time I do that, that redness that comes out, okay, so I never touched her arm. I never hardly touched the wrist area. Okay, but now it's still dark and it's brown and black and yellow. You see that? And then it's red here. Okay, that's called blood poisoning coming out. That's called tissue disintegration leaving and the tissues coming back. Look at, if you're not willing to take a really good look at this, physiotherapy doesn't do it. Chiropractics, they're amazing. They can save lives, but they do not look at the scar tissue. Massage doesn't do it at all. Oh, I go for a massage every week. Yeah, but guess what? They may soften things up, but you're screwed up when you hit the first red light. Because unless you're going to untie the knots, you're never going to lengthen your muscle tissues. And remember something, okay? The goal is to get into the joints. The joints hold the key. And I will tell you right now that 95 to 98% of all surgeries do not have to be done. All right? You're being sold off by the pound. You can get this or not get this. All right? You come to us, we'll give you a money back guarantee that in the first treatment will blow your mind. Have a great day.